Welcome back to the channel. YouTube manual reviewer. I do not associate myself or believe in any of the ideologies of this or this icons. That is all I have for you. Now to the regular viewers. We're going to be discussing historic airsoft, specifically in this video, the World Wars, if you couldn't tell by what I was wearing. Now with that said, we're going to be discussing pros and cons first, and then we'll get into the how-to portion. Pro number one. You're different. You look different in a sea of ATAX, FG, multicam, BDU, EMR in some cases. You're the one standing out. You're wearing either solid gray, solid green, solid tan, and it's not like super tacticalized, or you're wearing an obscure or very interesting camouflage, as I am right now, and you're going to stand out. When I mean stand out, you may not stand out so far as with the terrain, because I've been told this actually blends in very well with the autumn, forest floors of Kentuckian fall, as we're going to call it today. You're going to stand out in a sense of you're just different from everybody else. And when it comes to, airsoft being mostly a fashion show, you're probably going to be one of the cooler of the people that are there. Another interesting pro is you're kind of sort of experiencing what the soldiers had to go with. Now, I'm not saying you're experiencing, all the bad things. You're experiencing just how to use the equipment and how it felt, what it's made out of, what in some cases sounds, this being relatively new leather, makes an interesting sound. Another interesting pro is you are, again, since you're standing out, people might follow you and it might give you the edge to what it is you're trying to accomplish. But then again, people following you around, if it's too big of a crowd, it's kind of a double-edged sword, especially when it comes to airsoft or any kind of combat sport. Really, this is a hobby more than a sport. Now into the cons. Con number one, some fields really don't like any iconography with a certain party, with a failed Austrian painter. They don't allow it at their field. I'm going to go ahead and say who it is, ACS. That's one example. I'm sure there are more. Not dissing the guys at ACS, great guys. Really, really good field too. They just don't want that iconography, which understandable, but kind of at the same time, you're showing a historic thing because you're interested in history and you want to educate others. At least I do a little bit. I think it's fun when people come up to me and you're like, ooh, wow, what is this brown bag that's on your hip? Another con is this stuff is, there's a reason, things like molly rigs and plate carriers exist. This stuff is antiquated by quite a lot. We're talking the World Wars. Some of the stuff, your kit is over 100 years old, and other bits and pieces are kind of getting close to 100 years old now. So there is that. And another con, but this is more with all airsoft kits, is it's expensive. Really expensive. Like, great example, this hat that I'm wearing by itself is around 80 bucks.
I'd like to point out that the 80 bucks price is for the entire order. The actual hat itself was closer to 40. I do apologize, but that's still expensive for a hat.
The actual price could be north or south, I don't remember. Now, we're going to get into the how-to portion. With the how-to portion, you got to take into extreme thought of who, what, when, where, and what is a lot more than just, oh, I'm doing a rifleman, or oh, I need to get this kind of gun. It is a lot of what's. So first things first, we're going to be following this kit specifically as an example. So for who, we're doing Germany, when, World War II, or tail end of World War II. What, riflemen, as well as the soldiers, which also goes into the who as well as the what. Now, to locate things, I know me personally, I like Hessian Antique. They've not done anything bad thus far. The coloration is just a tad off. Like, the colors are a bit more prominent on this, but it is what it is. So there's a good example of somewhere to go. You can go on nestoff.pl. I'm more looking to them for World War I stuff, so I don't actively look for World War II things, but I'm sure that they have some good stuff. Do keep in mind the .pl does mean it comes from Poland, so with the tariffs and everything, take that into account, as well as shipping will be a bit higher. Now, the other thing you're going to need to take into consideration is with the what is I'm portraying. This is meant to portray a rifleman later into World War II. I'm limited more or less to the Kar 98K for now. I do know that S&T is planning on releasing the Gewehr 43, so and when that comes out in the future, go by all means, go for it. I'm planning on getting one myself because the Gewehr 43 is just super cool. And I suppose you could get away with using an STG 44. I don't know a ton of who would have used them. I know I've seen a lot of pictures of the special soldiers using them a lot. That's more of a later war thing. Now, if you do want to use an automatic weapon, again, being World War I and II, World War I, you're really, you're not really going to get one for airsoft, at least at the moment, as of time of recording. To my knowledge, nobody's making like AEG MP18s or shows or anything of that nature. I mean, by all means, if you have the technical know-how and the material to do it, go ahead and go for it. I think it would be amazing to see airsoft shows running around. That would be super awesome. Or even people who want to build like emplacement guns like MG08s. That's super cool. But so far as like World War II, you know, you got really iconic guns. So that's another, could go into the pro section. It's really iconic. Iconic guns such as the MP40, PPSH, Sten gun, the Tommy gun, the Grease gun. World War II has a lot of submachine guns and light machine guns that do exist in the airsoft market because they are more sought after. So far as helmets will go, the best you're going to get, at least in my opinion, so far as coverage of your head, will be the Stahlhelm. But again, being, you know, World War II, not everybody uses that. And for this kit specifically, I do have an M42 Stahlhelm with the, I believe it's the palm tree helmet cover. Let's see if I can grab it without making things fall over. This is my helmet that I use. The cover is a bit small. Sometimes this is something that Eschen Antique, just with their supplier, I guess they couldn't get any more of this size, or they just didn't have any of my actual helmet size. But I also did a big dumb, and I did the thing that I do with my actual like work Kevlar for the army stuff, and I got the helmet cover wet, and then I put it on, let it dry, and now it is like, it's not going anywhere. Not that I would want to change it out anyway. But we have found what we're doing when we're doing it, who we're going to be betraying, and your weapons. Bolt action rifles for the most part. US players can use the M1 Garand or the M1 Carbine because they're cool like that, I guess. And hopefully in the future, sometime soon, hopefully, Germany will also get the Gewehr 43. And if I remember from that picture, the Soviets will be able to get their SVT 40. So do keep that in the lookout. But that covers all of my major points that I wanted to cover in this video. If you have any more questions about portraying historic things in airsoft, do leave them down in the comments. But this is Alan of Allensarsenal. See you later.